at the back. You might think it's
Sounds crazy.
you might think you might you might think it's a Nelly
It's a
video
Diddy.
clip. Was it a
It's
Nelly
a
with
Diddy
the
thing.
credit card? Wasn't
Ah, by the way, Fernando Tatis Jr., for those who don't know, he's an NBA star who signed a 340 million contract. But what seems like a huge payday is maybe something totally else, because he might have to share the money with other investors in his career. Fair use.
Fernando Tatis Jr. owes an investment firm $34 million. Now he's suing them so he doesn't have to pay them. This is one of the shadiest things in sports. Let me explain. So there's this company called Big League Advance. Essentially what they are is an investment firm that provides athletes with upfront cash in exchange for a percentage of their future earnings. They have deals with hundreds of baseball players, including Fernando Tatis Jr., Ellie De La Cruz, and a bunch of others. And they've even started a venture into football and basketball too. The way it works is pretty simple. When Fernando Tatis Jr. was in the minor leagues in 2017, he was given $2 million in cash up front. If he doesn't make it to MLB, he doesn't have to pay any of the money back. But if he does, he owes them 10% of all of his future earnings, just on the field. Fernando Tatis Jr. initially praised this agreement, saying it allowed him to hire a personal trainer, eat better food, and upgrade his apartment. But then, just 4 years later, Fernando Tatis Jr. signed a 14-year, $340 million contract with the Padres, meaning he owed Big League Advance at least $34 million, plus 10% on any other MLB contracts that he might sign in the future. Tatis is now saying in his lawsuit that this deal should be voided because Big League Advance used predatory tactics to lure him to an investment deal that was really an illegal loan. And other MLB agents have stepped up too, saying that Big League Advance preys on young international players who get small signing bonuses. But I really don't think he's going to win this one, not only because several other MLB players have sued Big League Advance in the past and lost, but Big League Advance requires every contract to be reviewed by an independent lawyer. And they say that 70 to 80% of players never have to pay back any of the money because they don't make it to MLB. Fernando Tatis.
Crazy payday for the investment company. RJ.
Either you pay it up front.
Hey, we keep saying the same stuff at this. People don't understand that. They don't understand it, RJ.
Nothing is for free, KaiR.
Nothing is for free.
Either you pay it up front or you pay it, I want to say, at the back. You might think it's
Sounds crazy.
you might think it's a Nelly
It's a
video
Diddy.
clip. Was it a Nelly with
Diddy
the
thing.
credit card?
Ah, by the way, I'll say this: it was a Nelly situation. That was proposed by the women themselves. That wasn't an initiative from Nelly or any male at that party or that video clip. It was the woman who said, "You know what? Try to swipe the card between the cheeks."
They proposed
Just
it.
a disclaimer. They proposed it. Men are always this is crazy. So that's the crazy part. Yeah, they proposed it. It was the women who proposed it. Shows you. Anyway, I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, but RJ, continue.
Yeah, so either you pay it at the front or you pay it at the back. And but you have to pay. Nothing is for free. Nothing is for free. What is for free is subscribing to our channel, actually. So if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel and also subscribe to our email list. It's in the description down below. That's for the newsletter where we share with you links to viral moments that did not make today's show. But yeah, you have to pay it upfront, KaiR. No, not you have to. It's either upfront or
sacrifice.
Afterwards. But usually, so with it's just like a mortgage, right? Are you going to buy something small and build as you grow, saving as you grow, or will you build something big, ask for a loan, and build something big? Because when people tell you, yeah, they paid off their after they paid off their mortgage, they basically paid double the value. They ended up paying double the value of the house. KR, it's either, well, you wouldn't have that house if it was for that payment. So, but you didn't want to start small. You didn't want to rent. You wanted a house, a big house to show off. So it's either at the front or at the back. And usually, KR, it's more expensive when you have to pay at the back end.
Yeah, it is.
Usually,
and
not always, but usually.
Usually, that's totally true. And by the way, you see that also we covered the Diddy case. It's the same with Diddy. Diddy is paying at the back end now. And look at him. He's almost lost his whole life and all his money on the back end. So you got to make sure you always, either you sacrifice everything in front or you give it up. Because look at what he did, right? He got $2 million. He got $2 million. I don't think the average guy would have gotten $2 million. They knew he was probably going to make it to MLB. So they gave him a bit more money. And he agreed on the 10% of his future earnings. 10%. At that time, it seemed easy for him, RJ, because he never would have imagined probably to make $340 million. Sometimes you gotta read and also bet on yourself, because now he sold his future earnings for a loan. Whether you can call it predatory loan or predatory tactics.
Yeah, and yeah, is it it might be predatory.
No, I don't think it. I don't think it is.
But it's without them, you wouldn't have gotten to where you've gotten. It's like an investment that someone. It's just like when someone comes to me, because we don't do no cure, no pay over here. But sometimes a person will tell you no cure, no pay. If I would want to do the job on a no cure, no pay basis. If I do that, it will be 33%.
Yeah.
But you think that's too much. So you want to, so actually what they're saying is we want to pay you at the end what you would charge us at the beginning. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work.
It's a risk. It's a risk.
So you want me to carry the risk? You want me to carry the risk and still get paid exactly? No.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, right? So when it's 33%, if you get 100K, and it's 33,000. If you get 1 million, it's gonna be 330. What? Hey, that's the deal. That's the deal.
Yeah, I think you're right. People in general want to, I mean, it's also understandable. They want to move the risk as much as possible to other parties, but they don't want to actually reward other people for that risk. And you see that in everything in life, right? People try to scold people who try to make themselves better as entrepreneur. You make the money as an entrepreneur, and then they hate people that are entrepreneurs because they make money, but they bet on themselves. Well, not all of them. Some of them scam, and we're going to talk about it on Thursday. Make sure you tune in, because we're going to talk about a big scammer who got caught up in his BS. Well, actually two, but yeah, if you bet on yourself and you make the money, it's a risk. Now what Tatis did, he moved the risk to a third party, someone else outside of his camp. Got 2 million for moving that risk, because I mean, he couldn't also not made it. Broke his ankle, break his arm. They lose the 2 million, because you're never gonna get the big contracts.
Yeah.
So I don't think they stand a chance. I haven't read the small letters on the contract. I haven't read the contract, or have a great insight on what is being said in the lawsuit. But I don't think in general, if this is a clear agreement, because apparently, so this is what I have here as a Big League Advance says these deals aren't predatory because they require independent lawyers to review each agreement, with 70 to 80% of the players never having to repay any of the money because they don't make it to the Major League Baseball. That's the that's the risk they have in their business model.
Yeah, they lose, and win.
And
Lose,
win big.
lose, and win big.
Yeah. Now you're the stupid one who signed the contract for them to
I don't know
also
if it's
win big.
stupid, and that's the thing as well, right? So, for example, I have an issue with student loan. I'm a bit torn as it relates
You're
to
torn in
student loan.
between. Yeah.
Because on the one hand, as a kid, you are very dependent on what type of financial literacy lessons you get from your parents.
Let's start there. That's a good one. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't have it. Whether
That's
you
true.
like it or not, they don't have it. So the kid will get a loan because their parents will tell them to get a loan.
Encourage them. Yes, that's
Or
true.
encourage them to get a loan. They don't know any better usually
Yeah.
at that time, because I think that if they do, they would approach it differently. I don't think so. Some people take out student loans to go study something that they like, that's fun.
Yeah, that's.
But actually,
that's
it's an
not gonna
investment.
reward
You're paying
anything.
money. You should get something out of
Yes.
it, right?
Yes.
But a lot of people don't see it. They see like a degree as mandatory, and then you have a degree in environmental arts. I don't know if that degree exists, but what can you do? What can you do? Why would you? So, do you really need it? So, I don't think you do. So,
You have the thing, and this is I totally agree with you on that. The whole student loan thing, you have to be very careful on what you're taking a loan on. You have to be aware that the salary you're gonna get in the future has to be able to cover the interest payments and the full money you have loaned again. So there's not only the interest, you have to also pay back the full amount. So if you are taking an arts degree, you want the arts degree, I mean, the chances of you making the money back, it's gonna be very hard. Psychology, all these kind of small degrees, if it's not STEM, gotta ask yourself, is it worth it? So I totally agree with you on that.
or it's because STEM is science, technology.
And other all those.
But law is
Basically,
not in there.
law is not in there, but law you
For
can.
example,
you
to
can make
become a
it better.
lawyer, so if you want to become a lawyer, you need to have a degree. So
Yeah,
it
you
makes sense.
Definitely. Yeah.